Is the real estate market going to crash? And what should you do to prepare yourself for it? And what should you do now? Should you buy? Should you sell? Should you hold? What should you do? I'm going to answer all that right here in this video. Intro. I'm going to say that sooner or later, the real estate market is going to crash, and I don't think anyone has a crystal ball to be able to tell you when it will exactly happen. But I can tell you, whatever goes up must come down. We've been having such a good long run on this real estate market. Everything is very booming right now. You know, first-time home buyers are out there, right, paying for more than what the property is actually worth. Like they're overbidding 10, 15, 20, even $50,000 on a house. I mean, with the government printing out so much money, Biden is giving out some free money to people. COVID people are losing their job, and now they got to start all over again. So with all that, I think it's going to bust. The bubble is going to pop sooner or later. It's all a matter of time. It's not will it, it's when. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, but do I think, the market's going to crash like back in 08, 09? The chances of that happening is probably very slim. But I do believe that the real estate market is going to make a correction, because right now we're at the top of our peak. And with the whole COVID, right, and everybody's going through that, and the government is just printing a bunch of money, right, trying to fix the issue. So I think eventually that bubble is going to pop. And with people overbidding on houses right now, it's just insane. The best way to prepare for this, and I think like prepare for anything else, is you got to make sure you have reserve. A lot of you are out there, spending all the money, buying a bunch of stuff where you need to stack some cash away in case of the rainy days. And when the market crashes, that's when cash becomes kings, right? Because bank will be very restricted on who and what they loan to, right? People are going in foreclosure. People are losing their house. So when you have the cash, you can come in and boom, provide this quick closing, all right? And then you can buy property for pennies on the dollars. You see, back in 08, 09, that's when preparation meets opportunities, and that's how people get rich, right? They're able to come in and buy these and scoop these property up for pennies on the dollars. But when you don't have the money, you just kind of sit there and watch. Just like when the whole crypto crashed, right? Crypto went way down. Bitcoin hit 65,000 and boom, it drops down to below 30. I think it hits 28,000. And when you don't have the money, all right, to actually make a move. Now, before I go any further, I do believe that crypto is going to be the future currency, that Bitcoin will hit to that $100,000 mark plus. I don't know when, probably could be by the end of this year. So when you don't have the money to buy the dip, and when it does go back up, guess what? You're just sitting there watching everyone else got rich. And you sitting alone crying like a little bitch because you weren't prepared for the opportunities. So you just sit on the sideline and watch all these opportunities goes by. That's what happened to us back in 08 and 09 because we didn't know what we know today. I didn't really know about real estate market. I didn't know what was going on, but I'm seeing all these properties that were selling for $150 and now they're like $500,000. That's why my wife, what we do is we set up what's called an opportunity account. The opportunity account is separate from your emergency fund account, all right? That money that sits in there allows you to take risks and take chances. And if you do lose that money, it doesn't hurt you. If you're in your 20s or 30s, I wouldn't go out there and start buying property right now. Not even buying a single family home, all right, to live in. You want to focus on, all right, continue paying the rent, but focus on actually building a business first. Get into a hustle or a business that you want to start building, okay? Because you cannot depend on a J, O, the B. That's what happened in 08 and 09. These people that thinking that, hey, I'm going to get paid like this for the rest of my life or whatever. And they're depending their whole life on that job and that income coming in. So they went out and they bought their dream home. And guess what? When the market tanked, these business went out of business and they, poof, gone. The income gone. And that's why people are losing their house left and right. So you want to build a business that you can depend on. To me, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you got time, all right? You got time. So focus on building a business first. And then once you have the cash coming in, you're going to have plenty of times to buy these properties. And when the market does make a shift, does change, that's when your time comes. There's a saying in my country, có tiền không sợ gì mua không được, chỉ sợ là mình không có đủ tiền để mua mà thôi. It kind of translates to, if you have the money, there's plenty of opportunities for you to buy. You're just afraid that you don't have enough money to buy all the opportunities when it comes. Now, if you're in your 50s, right, if you're in your 50s or late 50s, depending on what your goal is, at that time, yes, go buy some rental property because you don't want to hustle no more. You don't want to wake up and grind and grow a business. You just want to buy some rental property, take that passive income to substitute it with your JOB so you can quit your JOB. Great. Now, some of you be like, well, Khang, what if I don't want to be an entrepreneur? What if I don't want to build a business, right? What if I just want to have the JOB and I just want to be able to go buy some rental properties and then get the cash flow until I get more cash flow coming in? Then I'll just quit my JOB and live off that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month and I'm happy. That's fantastic. That is great. But you just got to understand that you must have reserve, all right? Always make sure that you can save some money and set it aside in case if anything happens, you'll be able to pay for that mortgage, whether it's your investment property or your own resident. Typically, you want to have at least 6 to 12 months in saving. Honestly, I would highly recommend that you have 12 months in saving. All right, 12 months of saving. So let's just say that your mortgage a month is $1,000. You need to have at least $12,000 sitting in the bank account in case if anything happens. Emergency funds. That funds need to stay there. If anything happens, boom, you can make this monthly payment. Your passive income with your JOB, boom, you can quit your JOB and then just retire off of whatever the amount is that you're happy and you're satisfied with. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is I don't want you to go buy a property and depending that your income that you're going to get in from your JOB, that's going to be there forever. I mean, you hope for the best, but you got to plan for the worst. So let's talk about those of you who have the money. Listen, if you have a business and it's pumping out a bunch of cash, is this the right time to go buy rental property to offset your taxes? The answer is as long as the number makes sense, you should. Whether the market's up or the market is down, if you buy it right, you should be able to cash flow on day one. What you don't want to do is buy it and anticipate for appreciation. For example, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to buy this property for $100,000. I know that 6 months later, or I'm guessing or assuming 6 months later or a year later, it's going to worth $200,000 and I'm going to double my money. Like, don't bank on appreciation. You just got to make sure that when you buy it, you should cash flow on day one. And if you don't, then you shouldn't buy it. Appreciation is just a bonus. Don't bank on appreciation. There's no reason that you need to rush into overpaying for a piece of property. And don't get emotions when you're looking for properties to buy. You got to think like an investor, not a homeowner, if you want to get a good deal, right? So always make sure that the number makes sense. If it makes sense, buy it. If it doesn't, then don't buy it, right? Don't get emotional attached to it. And a lot of people, what they do is I think that's the hardest thing for them when they go, especially first-time home buyer. You get excited, you go there, you're like, hey, this is where my dream house is going to be, yada, yada, yada. And then they buy things that they can't even afford, right? See, a lot of times what it is the bank will tell you, hey, this is what you can afford, but what happened if you lose your JOB? What happened when the market crashed and your JOB gets poof, gone? Your income that you're making $2,000, $3,000 a month, poof, vanish. Now, let's say if you got some property and you'd be like, hey, Khang, is this a good time to sell? Well, here's my answer. Listen, if you need the cash, then yeah. Because with the market being where it's at, you're going to get top dollar for that property. So if you need the cash, then sell it. But if you don't, I think only sell that property if it's costing you a headache. If that rental property costing you a headache, that is when you should sell it. Okay, because it's not worth it. You should sell it. But if you don't need the money and that property is cash flowing, I think you should hold it. The longer you hold it, the better it is. I sold 3 rentals a couple years back, and honestly, looking back, I wish I didn't sell those rental property. And a lot of you ask me, so Khang, why did you sell? Because a lot of times, you don't know what you know now. So when you look back, you could have said, hey, I wish I could, I should, but it already happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, boom, show your boy King Kong some love, smash that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale to Million family. Be sure to, boom, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the bell notification so when I upload a new video or when I go live, you get notified. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care and ciao.